Yo, what's good, guys? We back with another video. Just a regular recording. So pretty much February, let's say, don't remember right off the bat. I think the 11th. Yeah, 11th. So boom, we have a 1 hour high right here, 4 hour high, same thing. So we have a high right here that just got taken to the left, and what we want to see is a sort of like a rebalance back into the range after that, and we want to pretty much see a change in the state lower, so that'd be down here though. So like we're down there. So and on the 3 minute, it just wouldn't really be anything. The 5 minute down here, but all that is just a rebalance in my eyes. So then to go, higher, maybe possibly take this higher time frame, you know, 1 hour high to the left of us again. We're a 4 hour high inside of this 4 hour fair value gap. You know, now ES being where it's at right now, and not taking that high to the left of us yet. And then this high is all the way up here on NAS, but it's right there. Yeah, so we're out of we're out of correlation. This high is right here. We already have taken it. So we already have an SMT higher time frame. We already have this SMT that's in place. But you still want to see something relative to the model and giving you a reason. So I don't know what exactly we want to do here, but I have an idea because we just took it on buy side. We have this SMT based upon this high not being taken out yet, and it's already way past it on ES. And then if we do want to run towards buy side, I could see us taking this high, getting stopped somewhere into this fair value gap, and probably having a little rebalance. So like I don't have a bias yet. I'm loose on the bias, but since buy side now taken, shorts could open up pretty well. And again, longs could as well. Just seeing based upon if we want to go long, we'd have to come lower first. So everything has its reason, and from there we're just observers of price. We just watch, and we don't try to guess anything. So that's pretty much all I'm looking for at the moment. Again, we would have had our change somewhere in here, but now just seeing this open up, this little gap open up, this gives me a little bit more confidence. Now ES does take this high to the left of us finally, and then NAS doesn't yet. So at the moment, we do have this little SMT in, and now if this SMT that we just put in right here, is valid, then this 1 minute won't hold, and then we'll change in the state. So same thing on ES. So we'll get that 2 minute invalidated, and we'll get this 2 minute invalidated. So if it holds, then it's valid. If it doesn't hold, we finally have our buy side swept here, and it will change in the state lower. So it's all just waiting. I want to see it actually play out. If it doesn't play out, it doesn't matter. There's a likelihood in this model around this market pretty much, everywhere. So there's no need to rush. I want to see, a confirmed change, a reason to go lower. Okay, where we took out that buy side, we do have that higher time frame SMT. It is this high up here that has not been taken yet on NAS, but it's already been taken on ES. So that again allows me to, have some confidence. And then now if we change on this 2 minute, which it'll close at 9:30, then we're in there. But now I want to see us get lower from here, just like that. But I don't want to really be, baited. So I want to be patient here. I want to let this first minute open up. If we get up out of there, hey, we get up out of there. If we don't, then we're patient. So we pull back to this change right here, which now that it's still a 30-second model. It's eye opening, but I just don't want to rush anything. I want to be patient here. I want to talk to myself and let myself know, hey, look, there's no need to take something that's out of your control and, Again, like I said, I want to see if this buy side wants to get met. So now this SMT is not valid anymore. Boom. But we do take that internal high. So it's still present for the model. We don't change there. We put in the SMT to the upside actually. So we have these highs that get taken out, all these little lows right there get taken, SMT gets put in, boom. So we know we have an SMT here, that's the reason, but I want to see what we're doing here. Again, if we're bullish, this will hold and we'll send us to this buy side level. But if we're bearish, then we'll change in the state, get through that 30-second, and we'll end up getting lower. So that's kind of what I want to see, either or. And something to just play out to the model. I'm not really worried about what we do. So I'm watching just to observe and see price play out. So if we change in the state here, I am likely to throw on a little short just based upon now we take this we'll take this internal high, and then again we'd have to hold here, so taking this off the 30-second if it does want to change, but it looks like as of now we're just holding. But you want to just be patient. Like I said, if I would have took that trade just based upon that little SMT, then I'm stopped, so just gonna shuffle through these time frames. I want to see what the 30-second on ES looks like, and then also the 30-second on NQ looks like. So we get that buy side taken, and then we get that internal high right there that got put in. We get this rebalance, and then boom, we take it again. So buy side taken, internal high gets taken as well. What are we looking for? A change in the state of delivery to determine that we will go lower here. And again, that 30-second should hold if we wanted to. So boom, in about 30 more seconds, I'm just going to wait for a candle closure. That's all I need to determine. And, if we do close below, I will slap on, like maybe 2, 3, depending on where we're at. But again, you just got to wait for that. You don't want to predetermine anything before it even happens. Because then, anything is likely in this market. So, boom, we don't change. But, like I said, anything can happen. Wait for that next candle to open up. Possibly get a change. Again, we'd have our change down there as well to the left of us. So, that also gives me more confidence as well. So, boom, right there. We get another change in the state. So, it's not another one, but it's a higher time frame. It's the 1 minute. So boom, we get that change right there, and then boom, I
Order
throw on 2
filled.
right there. So now I'm gonna put my stop loss up there. So I'm risking about $200 at the high. Again, I like it. I want to see if ES wants to pick up. Now, if we get this 1 minute change confirmed and validated in these next 15 seconds, then there's possibility for me to throw on lower. And yeah, so again, I like the trade. I like exactly what it is. I want to take this to pretty much equilibrium. So TP will go here. So we don't get that 1 minute confirmed, but the 30-second was validated. And, we're resting at it right now. So again, I want to see if we want to validate that 1 minute. It's also a 2 minute as well. So if that gets validated, then, that's exactly what I'm looking for. So boom, we start getting that displacement, which I like that right there. And we're targeting equilibrium, resting at a 15-minute fair value gap. So very nice target, great risk. It's pretty much a 1 to 2. And, you can't ask for nothing like really more. So just taking what I'm given, not trying to rush anything. Starting to open up here. I would have slapped on more contracts, but there's no need. Just what the risk is looking like. 2 contracts, 190, TP down there. You don't want to skew your risk up just because you want to make more money. No. So you just let everything play out. Pretty much getting a 3-minute change in the state. We got a 2-minute change in the state. Everything is confirmed. 1 minute change right there. This low has got taken. So now I can tighten up my risk a bit. I'm gonna let it just where we're at. I'm gonna let us develop, and you know, let the model play out to the fullest. So we're in this 15-minute fair value gap right here, which I want to see just get ran. And, we waited for the market to open patiently, do what it had to do. I think, our stop scoring right here and, just letting the market work is the best thing in this possibility, because you can jump on like a higher time frame, that's the low. So like that's where you'd pretty much want to go break even. Um, so now we pull back to this change.
Order filled.
So I sold one more right there. Just because we tapped that change in the state, I like that. It's a clean change in the state. We got to pull back to the 2 minute, pull back to the 1 minute, and then, we got that confirmed change in the state on the two, and then now we pull back to it. So now I added one more contract. So again, my risk didn't get messed up because I waited for a pullback, which is right there. And then now, if you notice, like it's a pullback to the 3 minute as well. There would be no reason for us to pull back. You know, there'd be no reason. We pull back on every single time frame: the 5, the 3, the 2, the 1. And now this range that we're in, if I jump here, this range that we're in now, it's more likely for us to now sell off to this low. So, and what's the reason for that? It's because we had our change in the state of delivery after doing everything necessary. Now, this low would be the draw. That's the target. So now we're gonna tighten up our risk a little bit. We're gonna put it above here. Let's see if we have anything that makes sense. 5 minute, nothing that makes necessarily like a lot of sense. 1 minute, that's right there. And then we have this wide open 1 minute right here. So we could tighten our risk up to this right there, that 1 minute right above there, and take that down here. So now we're risking 160, and now we just don't touch this. We're above this 1 minute, it'll be above a 2 minute, it'll be above a 3. Like everything has to develop here. So again, we got our change, buy side taken, internal high got taken, and from there the market just got to open up. So, and send out volume. So from there, confident trade. ES is doing damn near the same exact thing. So I like it. It's pretty much it. It's confident trade. We're pretty much seeing this 15-minute get inversed and invalidated, and then we could see lower from here. So that's what the trade's based off of. Now I want to see where ES comes to equilibrium at. If ES gets to equilibrium first, then obviously I'll be out of my trade, just based upon what this chart does as well. They correlate. I don't really care if what the risk is like after that, but we're just watching. So again, it was just a clean trade. Here would be where I would just start trailing my trade. Seeing that low, just rest right there near EQ. I would want one of these lows to get taken though. So that's why I'm just gonna hold this trade. I'm not gonna do anything. But one of those lows getting taken pretty much validates that, okay, where we can put an SMT inside of a 5 minute, anything. Just like something relevant to this trade. You don't want to just like take off for no reason and not hold, or be impatient because, let's just say, you're worried that it doesn't go to TP, when in reality, like, that shit doesn't matter. So here's EQ, here's that low, here's that low, here's EQ. It's just a confident trade. It's a really nice trade. We opened up. We're opening up. So there's no like 3 minute, no 5 minute that got opened up, but now would be, one of your times to go break even. So since we, closed on this 5 minute candle, here's a good time to go break even, or, tighten up your risk again. Excuse me. And, that's probably what I'm going to do here. I think there'd be no reason for us to come back into this change. No reason to come fill this 1 minute again. We did all the work up there. So now I'm going to just show you guys. I'm going to put it right above that body. So right where we pulled back to the change and we did not come to, I just wouldn't think there'd be a necessary, like reason to come back to that. So that's where our risk would not be. So to tighten it up, there's no reason for us to come back up there. We didn't do anything to the downside. Did not take a low. Didn't do anything. Didn't do anything relevant. Excuse me. So I would do. Damn. I would do the same thing on ES. Um, we get that change, boom, we pull back to it. There'd be no reason for us to come back up there. And if it does, then it's like, all right, we're like, you just gotta accept that. There's nothing wrong with that. There's always gonna be one of these models or these setups being, presented in front of you, as long as your eyes are open for it. So, this 15-minute getting respected is not exactly what we wanted to see. So, hey, at the end of the day, this is what price action is. This is exactly what you got to be prepared for. Little things like this, we're getting so close to that low, and then boom, start to get a rebalance. So, our trade went from all the way up here, but why are we gonna keep risking that if we, did the works and we did everything we needed to do? You're not gonna like continue to, risk that or put that money on the line for no reason, because it's like, our word, like, say you had everything checked off, and you didn't need to do anything else. Why would you still leave something on the table? So that's kind of where my idea is. We still have this 1 minute that could hold us, and if we want to go lower, it will hold us to go back lower. So that's exactly what you want to see. Something in favor that sends price lower still. And that's what we got here. So again, like I said, I'm not too concerned. Once we take this low here, I want to see a flush if we do take that low. So like that's where now I'm gonna be a bit more aggressive to capitalize on profits, because it's like we have everything now. Now we have this internal low resting with this sell side. Now it's like, okay, we're no reason for us to continue to play around. So we're just gonna watch ES, see what ES is doing as well, and keep our heads and our eyes open. So yeah, so this 1 minute is right there. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it's not nothing that, like, word, we get into this 1 minute again. Okay, word, let's see what we do. You know, it's just shit like that. You gotta just be patient and okay with the market playing around. Sometimes it's just not gonna go straight to TP, but everything that we wanted to see happen, it happened. Clean model in the 30 second. So tiny SMT gets put in here. Yes is right next to that low. Well, we just take that high to the left of us right there. So this tiny SMT does get put in right there. And that would be the SMT that does send price. If we do wanna go lower, that will send price to this low here. And then as well as send E or N, what's it called, NQ back lower. So looks like we're gonna get stopped here. Pull back to that change again. Looks like we're gonna probably stop us out here. But again, that's a tiny loss on the day. We managed our risk. Very nice. So I'm not upset with that trade. I'm very happy with this trade. I still want to leave something on the table because if we did want to pull back to it again, when we we just did right there, then there's absolutely, there's a reason to do it. So just gonna let it stop us out fully.
Order filled.
So boom, that was pretty much the trade. Like clean ass trade back to equilibrium. Um, that's what happened. That's what happens sometimes. So boom, you take a really, really, really nice trade, and nothing in my eyes happened here. So there's still a reason for me to take this trade again. I just have to wait and see. But again, all this had reason. We changed in the state, we pulled back to it, boom, we did what we had to do. And we had great risk on the table. Risking $75 to make, 600. So there's absolutely a reason, to still take the trade. If we now we want to change in the state all over again.
Order
So now
filled.
we'll be back in it. Stop loss will go there. And then boom. I put on 3 cons and I'm still gonna target the same exact thing. I'm gonna target the same thing. Now we're just targeting it based off a 30-second. We're pulling back to that change in the state.
Order filled.
Sold one more. And we're pretty much back in the same exact trade now. So, and the reason why I did that is because boom, we take this high to the left of us right here, and then now we change all the way back in the state again. And this right here will be the last trade, and we pull back to it as well. So this would be the last trade, but sometimes it's gonna stop you out. It's gonna send price back in, in the opposite favor, get all the traders out who've seen that setup, and then boom, you know. So I got pretty nice size on the table. So 1 to 2, and 4 cons on, percent 300. We get our change, we get our pullback to it. I'd want to see this hold here, and my stops right there. It's at the top of this wick, so it's a confident trade again. That 30-second, if we were trying to go to this high, these 30 seconds right here should have held, and to my understanding, that's what I'd want to see. And again, we didn't do anything. We didn't take the low to the left of us, and there's no like SMT beneath us, so we still have equilibrium wide open. So again, it's still a confident trade. So we're just gonna let the market, tell us whether that was the setup or that was not the setup. So looks like we're gonna get this 15-second change right there. I'd like to see some displacement here. Get us out of this, up here, get out of there. And then, changing the state back lower. So we pull back up to it, pull back up to that inverse up there. And then we get that change in state on the 15-second, pull back to it right there. So from here, I'd really like to just see displacement and for us to get out of here. Macro is going to open up in a minute. So, but like I said, price action is price action. So it's going to do whatever it wants to do at the end of the day. So you can't be upset with what you do. Like I said, I seen the same exact model play out. I took it confidently, and I respectfully just I understand that that's what I wanted to see here. So I took it. Macro. Now we're in the macro, and I believe there was reason to go lower, so I held on to the trade, and then boom, I get stopped out. We take this high to the left of us, boom, we change in the state, and then we pull back again. In my eyes, and from what I've seen before, That's a manipulation move that will send us back lower, and then from here to here, and that will send price back into the direction. So I confidently took it again, and you know, sometimes you got to be able to do that and understand like where that's what the market is going to do. It's going to get all the traders that have their stop there or here. They're going to get them out the market and boom, run right back into the direction that you thought it was going to go to. And maybe you might not take it, maybe you will take it. Regardless of what happens here, I only took it because I see the exact same thing happen. We take that high to the left of us, boom. We already took our buy side out. We already did all that work up there. Boom, high to the left of us right here and here gets taken. Boom, we change, pull back up to it. So it's the same exact model. Like I said, it's the same thing happening. So from here on out, we're just gonna watch and just let the market do its thing because it seems to be like it's already gonna be one of those days. It's gonna be slow and it's gonna manipulate. It's gonna do everything. Just that you don't want it to do. It's not the cleanest price action. So yeah, we're just gonna let this rock out. That's the two. Even this low in ES, if you look to over here, we still didn't take that low yet. And then equilibrium resting right there is just like, if you have a confident draw, stay confident in it. So I always believe, stay confident in it until there's no reason, not to be. So like if this low on ES gets taken, I'm fully just gonna close along with equilibrium as well. So this 15-second should hold, send price lower. So once that low gets taken, I'm gonna trail aggressive on ES. We take that, we get to this 2 as well. Gonna trail pretty aggressively. And then I'll be, practically break even / in profit trailing. So it's just very slow. Like I said, it's not doing, nothing that you want to see. But hey, again, it's gonna head towards the draw it wants to head towards. So that low to the left of us does get taken. And with that, we're gonna trail this all the way up here to this high. So now if we just want to come and take that out, then we're gonna take it out. But we're risking $90 again, something like that, to make 637. Small loss on the day. So at the end of the day, we're gonna be down 160. This is gonna be the final trade. Look at price action from the open. Do not sweat it. It's not the biggest deal. And small losses, big wins, those are what you need in this game. So small losses, big wins. That's all you need. That's all you have to walk away. You have to understand, when the market's not delivering price action in favor. So, we get that new 5-minute candle. Boom. Looks like we're gonna get stopped here. So pull back to that change in the state one more time. I think that would, that would be a key indicator. We pull back to the change in state again, and now we're just playing around. Look, we have a confident ass low right there. If we don't deliver and price doesn't get sent to that low, then that should be all you need to know. When price action is not going exactly to where it needs to go. It's just doing this. There's no point in, sweating it. Like obviously I'm in the trade with the risk on. So, and I'm targeting the draw that I think it should go to based upon what price action did and where we're at. It's just a rebalance. Why is it being, like dojis, little candles? Why is it being so slow? Just couldn't tell you that. We have news. It's a Wednesday. It's one of those days. And these are the days that you have to lose small. These are the exact days that I'm realizing these are the days you gotta lose small. These are the days you gotta lose small. And if you do win, capitalize on it. But do not freaking fight the fact that, you did not make money, you did not get any profit, anything. So now look, boom. We take that low finally. And now we're just gonna sit here. We already pulled back to the change, so we're just gonna tighten it up even more. And we're gonna put it back at the change. I don't think we gotta go back to it. So I doubt that we'd have to come back to that change in the state. So now we're just gonna simply watch. I don't care where we go. I don't care what we do here. We're practically break even on the day. So this is what I like to see. And then now I want to see this equilibrium get met as well. So once ES does all that, boom, just like that. Now we're tanking.
Order
and then
filled.
Boom, TP's hit. It's patience. It's simple as that. It's patience. We're inside the macro. We did not touch anything. We did not get fearful. Just look at price action and, let that be the decider of of what you think. And from there, it just doesn't matter. Like the 30-second from here is super clean in my opinion. Buy side taken right here. Boom. Internal high taken. Change in the state. Pull back to it. Now we're playing. Pull back to it. Original stop loss would have been chilling. Cool. But we're not trying to keep that risk on the table because now if we just get stopped for $300, just pointless. When in reality, it should have just, flushed. We were just that far. Boom, we pulled back. And then right there is when I see it again. And that's the only time it was presented after that. So, oops, let me click that shit. But look, that's what we have right on the day. And, that was the trade. So, super clean. Just targeting our fruit. We got our wrist tightened. So, just a beautiful day. Super clean day. Like, that's all I'm looking for. That's all I was expecting on the day. I was not asking for any more. So, that's pretty much the trade. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed the live, commentary behind it, just to show you guys exactly just what you need to be looking for in little things, and not to be worried about nothing else. So, boom, like I said, I'll go over it one more time. We had our sell side, our buy side up here. We had this internal high up here. Now that gets taken, and then we're inside of a higher time frame. 4 hour, it's up here. Let me check where we were. We're inside this 1 hour right to the left of us. Up here as well. So we're just at a point in time where we are, super, super, just like in my opinion, just like bullish kind of. Like we have these highs resting right here. High open 4 hour, we're just like bullish, but in order to go higher, we must go lower first. So, boom, and then you just look at this, right? Once that gets taken, we're just looking for a change. And the cleanest thing was, boom, the 30-second. You drop down to it, and like look what we pull back to each time. That change in the state. And your trade could have been based upon that change in the state each time, and boom, you get a fill here, your stop loss goes at the high. And all I was targeting was just that equilibrium, just that move to the downside and to rebalance all of this. So again, just a super, super, super clean day. I'm pleased with what I did. I'm pleased with the decision making, and confidently taking the stabs that I know I should take, and you know, boom, you tighten up your wrist to like here. While that 1 minute right there, a tiny one protects you. You have it at the body, and now you're in a position where you're risking about a 1 to 4. Targeting equilibrium with a low here. There's reason. So like when market didn't take this low, ES didn't take it either. So why would we just come back, rebalance to the change of the state to then run back higher when we didn't do anything lower first? Like, no, we'd have to take this low first, in my opinion, and then boom, come to equilibrium and rebalance or whatever the hell we want to do after this. Because like, look at price action. This is not even an ideal type of day. Delivering was the model clean? For sure, everything happened, but delivering, was it? No. Like you'd want to see more expansionary candles, candles that are gonna take you to the draw on liquidity. But at the end of the day, as long as your stop loss is protected and you're in the right position, price action is price action. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. That's the trade I took, and thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video. See ya until next time.